four's up.
Eh,
Is that a?
Hey yo, four's up. Let's go.
You know what I think in the NBA they should just start. They should increase the point system. So instead of like a 2, I want a 2,000, and instead of a 3, I want a 3,000.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't make a difference. But it
What
sounds
if like
cool, you know.
5? What if like you did like 5 billion?
5 billion.
Just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like what if it was 5 billion points?
I feel like that would get us into like higher numbers because I only know. I think I only like can count to like a gajillion.
I think a gajillion is higher than a billion, dude.
Yeah, that's about as far as I can go. So
Oh, you're saying we would add up billions and get up to gajillions?
yeah, what's after gajillion?
Okay, so you're the smart one. Got it. Okay.
No. I'm not saying I'm the smart one. I'm saying like as a culture.
Oh no, I was saying that I didn't understand, so I was being the stupid one.
Oh well, I mean, don't hate. I mean, I'm right there with you, man. Like we're both stupid.
Don't hate.
No
Don't hate, man.
Hey, no shade, no hate. We're all dumb out here, dog. You know?
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, dude, you first.
Oh, go ahead.
Dude, you first.
Oh, go ahead.
Go!
Dude, I was saving my drink. It's very fancy sparkling water now.
When you turned it
It's
around
like-
at first, I read faucet, and I was like, what?
That would be kind of chic. It's Fawcett, the newest drink.
I got it from
Voss.
my
you
bathroom.
know Voss, yeah. You know the
Voss?
regular water. Yeah.
I know Voss, like in The Boys. Isn't that who makes the superhero serum?
I think that's like Vought.
Vought.
think it's Vought.
Dang it, that's not as cool. Yeah. No, I don't know Voss.
But well, they make like stupid fancy water. It's like you call it like fancy water, but it's like it's literally just water.
Who are they related
to? It's supposed
to?
to be artisan water from Norway. Dwayne Johnson is like a big investor or something, but I would get it sometimes before school when we were in high school, and I'd feel like super high class coming in with a Voss water. I'm like, oh, that's just my Voss water. Yeah, I drink it sometimes. So it's just
Someone's
kinda
just like
nothing.
Dude, I'm so thirsty. Can I have a drink of your water? And you're like, this water's from Norway. Ever been there?
This is artisan water from Norway. So I don't think I'm gonna give you any of it. You know how long it took me to get this? And it like cuts to a frame of they're like in a Walmart. There's like 40 bottles in a Walmart. I had to go ask the Norse gods for this. Okay? They collected it themselves from the tears of demons they destroyed. That's what this water is.
I always like anytime there's a water, or it's mainly just waters, but like waters that are like, this is from the Rocky Mountains of a third planet east from the
third planet east.
anytime there's a water that like it's like this water from somewhere else, I just imagine like take the Norway water for example, like someone in Norway and they like see a lake or something, they're just like,
honestly, dude,
sell that.
Sell that, awesome, make billions of dollars. Amazing.
If I'd have known that when I was in Norway, I would have just packed a bunch of it.
Honestly, dude, it's like pretty genius because it's like it sounds so cool and like so like it sounds very high class and very fancy, but it's just water. It's the same chemical components in every freaking water, dude. It may taste different or whatever. I don't freaking know.
Let's just get a filter, like a water filter. And then I've got a bathroom here.
Yeah.
And we'll just put water in it and filter that out. And then we'll say it's from Tahiti. And then we'll sell it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's from Paris. I would have left. I was like, that's going to be so funny.
From Paris. Yeah, we could.
From Paris.
Yeah, we could.
It's like from Paris. And then when we put like Texas in like really, really fine print. They're like, this water's from Paris. I guarantee we would get so many people. And it's like, what? Like, why? Like, Norway sounds cool because you think, like, oh, waterfalls or whatever. But it's like, from Paris, you're like, that. You just think Eiffel Tower and city. So what is it, like, sewer water? like, what fresh source is that coming from in Paris? But people would buy it without thinking, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's from Paris, so I drink it because I kind of like I love my water from Paris." So
Yeah, people is if the product is special or like makes people think that they'll be or feel special, they'll buy it. Like Smart Water, for example. It doesn't
yeah,
actually make you smarter, and it's like one of the worst waters you can get because there's zero minerals in it. Like it's not good for you.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not bad, but it's also just not good because you're not getting anything, you know?
So you'd venture to say it's not smart water.
I'd say
it's unsmart.
I'm gonna
Stupid
go on the
water?
record. I'm gonna go on the. I'm gonna say Smart Water is actually. I'm not gonna say it's stupid water, right? Because it's acquired a lot of money for just putting smart in it, you know. So I'm gonna say it's more manipulative water. I'm gonna say it's
wow.
Yeah, it's a deceiver. Wow, it's a deceiver of water.
I'm sorry. This is on the record.
Yeah, you can write that down.
Okay, I just was wondering if it was like on. I have like a lady right here who writes down everything we say.
Oh,
yeah.
Where did you get that?
That? You mean her?
I don't know if it's like if you call her by the product. Like I don't know if she goes through a company or if she's like a freelancer.
Freelance, best job in the world. But anyways, I had to open this.
Yeah, pop it.
Oh, it was not as satisfying as I wanted it to be.
Was it carbonated?
It's got a sticker on it.
It sounded.
Yeah, it's sparkling. It's sparkling water.
Oh gosh.
I was saying, Voss, like they usually make just regular water, and then I found out last night they have sparkling water. So I'm like, I gotta try it, see if it's better than LaCroix. Yeah. So far, it's not better than LaCroix. I gotta say.
I mean,
it might just be their flavor choices, but so far it's not better than LaCroix.
It's like you're comparing different poops.
Okay, this is kind of flames though. It's lemon. It's lime mint.
You're just like. It's like you're just comparing different poops. Like you're just like, it's not better than that one.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about it, but like that one's 10 times worse than this one. This one's like pretty good.
Like that one's got corn, and I like corn, but it's not.
Dude, no more, no more, no more. That's where I draw the line, dude.
Oh, well, I'm drinking a diet Dr. Pepper because I'm trying to watch my figure.
Yeah.
And it's got some cherry in it, but it's not real cherry. Okay. It's I don't know what's in it. And
it's fake cherry?
Yeah, I think they put like a berry and they put a cherry suit on it, and then they kill it and then they put it in the drink. Dude, wow. Honestly, like what is true about drinks? Because you can just they just label what's in here, but they could really just be like, we put battery acid, we put the blood of an animal in here, and like I mean,
well, it's like they have to it's like they have to put it on there.
Yeah.
To like obviously sell the product, but like nobody freaking reads it unless they're like a vegan or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, or whatever.
Yeah, or whatever, you know. Whatever encompasses so many different things.
I'll never forget when Victoria, your sister, asked if she could borrow your shorts to go running one time, and she was a vegan. I don't know if she still is.
She still is.
She still is. Wow, commitment. She lives by that. Good for her. But I remember she asked to borrow some shorts, and you were very anti-vegan at the time.
Yeah.
And you said, what did you say?
I said, no, I'm not going to let you borrow my shorts. You'll get your green vegan sweat all over them. You love that story, dude. You love that story more than I love that story.
Well, it's because it was at the time so rude. I've never heard something so blatantly rude.
You're like, dude, you just talk to your sister that way?
Yeah. And it was so blatantly rude that I grew a newfound of like respect for that. And I mean, and she didn't borrow the shorts, so I was like, okay, I just have to like be super rude and telling people no, and then they won't bother me anymore. And I've lived by that.
So you'd say I'm a pretty good influence then.
No, I'd say you're the worst influence because I'm.
So you'd say like I'm probably like a good influence then. So
no.
Yeah, you'd probably say that. That like, I'm probably like a good influence. You'd probably say that though.
I'm not saying it. No.
You'd probably say that. Dude, doing that to people in person is so freaking funny. I know you do it too, bro. It's like the funniest thing ever. I love it so much, dude.
My favorite is if someone's like, hey, be sure to don't eat that. And I'm like, eat that? Okay.
And you do love doing that.
They go, don't eat that. I'm like, eat it? Got it. And they're like, don't eat it. I'm like, okay, I got it. I'll eat it in a second. They get so mad.
They're like, literally, they cannot comprehend humor whatsoever. Unless it starts with knock knock, they're not going to think it's a joke.
Honestly, when's the last time you heard a good knock knock joke?
I feel like I heard one pretty recently, but I can't remember it. So I don't even know why I started.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do that a lot. My friends here, they know it because I'll start something. I'll start like telling a story. I'm like, oh, and then I'll get to the part where there's like a punchline or whatever even happened, like the basis of the story that I'm telling. It's like telling the movie with just literally completely forgetting the climax and like the plot twist, and you're just like, you have no idea what happened. It's like I'll start telling a story. I'm like, oh, dude, that reminds me of this one time when I did this or I said this, and then I'll like start just like talking about it. And sometimes I don't even start. Like sometimes I say I remember this one thing, and I literally can't recall what I said or what I did exactly. And I'm like, how did that even catalyze this memory? And I can't remember. So then I go, I don't even know why I started because I can't remember it. So I don't know why I did that. And it happens to me all the freaking time.
In the middle,
I freaking hate it, dude.
In the middle of doing all that, are you like subconsciously in your mind just like, I have to keep going with this, and I hope I remember it at some point. But if I don't, now I have to figure out how to explain that I don't.
Maybe like I don't know, but like I know that like I get there and it's like strange to me that I can't. That like the next sentence is just blank. It's like you're reading a sentence and then it's just blank, and you're like, there's nothing there, and you're like, what do I say now? And so then I immediately just panic and I go, and I can't remember what it is, so I don't even know why I started on it. It's just like from like one sentence, I'm like, it basically looks something like this. I'm like, oh, dude, I remember this one time, like my friend was, eating something in front of me, and I said, and I don't even remember why I started telling that story because I can't remember what I was saying, what I said back then. So I don't even know why I started. And then people usually their reaction is like, yeah.
You're just
like kind of like an understanding thing. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't know where you're going either, but yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember it? That's okay.
You're on your deathbed and you're explaining, like, yeah, and like when I was 21, oh, the pain. I robbed a bank and got away with it, and I stole $50 jillion, and oh, I feel it, and I want you to have it, and oh, and I don't remember where I put it. Oh.
I died. Oh yeah, dude.
I feel like that's the equivalent of that.
Freaking hilarious. Yeah.
What have you been up to this week? Like anything new? I really haven't talked to you at all because sometimes I just hate talking to you. So
I was like, what is he about to say? I was like, what has been going on? But yeah, we haven't talked that much this week. I just kind of messaged you about editing the last episode and how it was cheeks and crap. And
yeah.
Let's see. I don't think I did much. I finished Star Wars Visions. I think I texted you about that.
So good, dude. Okay,
dude, that was flames.
How kind of disappointed were you? So that first episode, if you guys haven't seen Star Wars Visions,
yeah, dude, the first compared to the second.
Yes.
Are you saying about the yeah? And then it goes to the second. You're like, what the heck am I watching right now?
Because I didn't know that it was like, what are their
different companies?
Yeah, I didn't know it was that.
Yeah.
So after that first episode, I'm sitting here thinking like, am I about to have a new favorite show in my life?
Yeah,
because I'm ready.
I'm thinking this is fire. I love this so much. Let's do another one.
Yes, and then the second episode hits, and I'm just like, I don't care about this kid's band. Because the first episode, if you haven't watched it, it's a very interesting like art style. So it's 9 or 10 different episodes of 10 different anime companies, their take on a Star Wars story. In a Japanese art style known as anime.
Yeah, so they're all like short stories that they just came up with, like their anime studios wrote and produced, and they're flames.
And the very first episode was like a black and white. Everything's black and white except the lightsaber. Anything that's colorful, like the lightsaber or
like the kyber crystals
or
and
the
lightsabers.
Crystal. Yeah. That first episode, dude, it tripped me out because I was really into the art style, and then they played the original soundtrack of Star Wars, and I'm like, this doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And I'm not a soundtrack.
I think there was like a slight variation in it.
Yeah, and I'm not like a soundtrack guy, You're the soundtrack guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was throwing me off. But then once the protagonist comes in, it switches, and it was a lot better. But it made me want to know that character, because he wasn't a Jedi or a Sith anymore. But I was, and then he's collecting kyber crystals, and I'm like, what's going on with that? And then the second episode, it's more of a kid friendly kind of art style. I'm gonna pull up like exactly which one was which as far as like the episodes, because there were a lot of cool art styles.
Yeah, I'd say there was more that I liked than I didn't like, but most of the ones that I liked were more of like the realistic, like most of the common anime styles that you see in most shows that are popular, like Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, Death Note, stuff like that. It's like that kind of style that most people would be pretty familiar with. And then there's other ones that are like deep cut. Maybe it's not that deep. I'm just an American guy, but I knew like that style existed or whatever, and I've seen that stuff before, but it's never really been my forte.
Yeah, the second episode I didn't care for. The twins I also did not. I was on board at the start, and then I didn't really like it.
The story kind of
was weak.
Like it's like a Pokemon. It was like big Pokemon vibes in that. We gotta save my sister, and I'm like, when
the twins' mask busted off, and I noticed like no facial scars and just blue hair, I was like, I expected your face to be mangled to shreds. The Village Bride, I actually really not a lot happened in that one, but I liked it.
I liked that one too.
I got a lot of this one anime, like real. I always forget the name of it, but it's so good. It's the one that James Cameron. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He got inspiration off of that anime for Avatar. I just can't remember the name of it, so
I don't know what it is.
My bad. It's super good. I'll figure it out later and send it to you.
Does it start with an E?
I think.
Is it like a really popular one?
Yeah.
E. It's like.
It's called E.
It's like evangelism.
Even Stevens. It was Even Stevens.
Even
with Shia LaBeouf.
Eve.
Dude, The Ninth Jedi. I loved that one so much.
Oh my gosh, dude. That one. Dude, I thought the concept of the lightsaber was stupid, but also flames for the story.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm just like, why? I was like, that's kind of dumb. And then when they all came out, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, when you put it together, and you're like, oh. I was like, okay, that's freaking cool, bro.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's a cool idea.
I really love that one. I'd love to see more on that one.
Yeah.
Toby, I felt like is something that you would write and then regret it later. I didn't like it.
That I would write?
Yeah, I don't. It's only because a long time ago your default in naming things was like Toby, and
yeah.
And I hated it. I hated the
I
idea. I
still do that, except I say Tobias. I name all my video game characters Tobias Maguire. I just love it. I think it's freaking hilarious. Every Project Zomboid character I make, his name is Tobias Maguire.
I hate.
Anyways, remind me what that one is, because I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was forgettable. It was a scientist who apparently used to be
that's right.
a Jedi,
yeah.
and then he builds a droid that just somehow develops force
as the
power.
Force,
and then like takes on a Sith who
yeah, immediately. That happened in like several where they just get a lightsaber and they take on Sith, and I'm like,
yeah. And you know who? You know how that ruined what ruined that is Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. As much as I enjoyed it, it was just like, Rey, you just got this, and
yeah, that was some bull, dude. Kylo Ren, literally like the most, like probably one of the most skilled, like lightsaber.
More than her. I mean, he
wielders.
Was in Academy.
Oh, by far, dude. My dude was like going intense, and she like just figures out, oh, the Force, oh, a lightsaber, and I'm like, okay.
Then after being so upset with Toby, then we get into The Elder, and I loved that one.
That was freaking fire. You know who? I was sitting there the whole time going, what is this guy? Who voices this guy? Like the main Jedi? I was like, I recognize his voice. It sounded a lot like Harrison Ford, and I'm like, I know it's not Harrison Ford. He wouldn't freaking do that. He was so ready to get out. You know who it was? David Harbour.
David Harbour. He played on, I don't know. Where'd he play? Who was he? What did he do?
You probably don't know him as well as I do because you haven't watched Stranger Things, but he's like that's where he like got really big, was in Stranger Things, but he'd been in stuff before. But he was the new Hellboy, and he was Red Guardian in Black Widow.
Oh, nice.
You'd know his face for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved, because I remember I freaking recognized that voice so hardcore. And I thought he did pretty freaking good. I liked his character a lot.
Yeah,
I was like, "What's this dude's story, man?"
I loved the horror aspect behind it. I didn't think I'm just realizing now we're pretty much breaking down all these episodes. So hopefully, if people didn't want to know that.
Well, we're not breaking down like the big. Well, I mean, we're breaking down the dumb one.
Yeah.
Like we just said, we liked the other ones.
Right.
I tried to be pretty sparse with my descriptions.
Then there was Lop and Ocho, which was like that chick who
I liked that one.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. I was like, I didn't mind watching it, but when it was over, I also didn't mind that.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Ikakari.
Absolute flamery.
The ending of that one, I was like, oh snap, we're ending there?
That's me, dude. I thought, okay, there's like a minute left, maybe something else happens, and then it's just roll the credits, and I was like, oh my gosh.
And it's like, because we've seen that before, you know, like the turnout of that, but it was, in my opinion, way more well done than what the movie was, you know?
Right, yeah. That was like, but even so, dude, I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to spoil it, but I'm just like, dude, okay, we may come back to it next episode if you guys want to watch through that.
We're giving you an episode to watch it, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Because you got a week until we talk about it again.
And it's already been out for so long that you should have seen it already, but it's fine. Watch it.
Yeah, honestly, we could talk about it. Maybe you just pause this podcast or something. I don't know. But yeah, like I'm always in those instances. I'm like, just kill the dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, just you don't have to do any. That's like my biggest thing these days. One of my biggest pet peeves is people play this stupid "what are the odds" game or these stupid whatever. Like, oh, you have to do this since you did this, and I'm like, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like one time it's like funny because it's all like fun in games or whatever. Like I'm not like actually upset that people do this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I just find it so funny that people are like, oh my gosh, now I have to do that. Like, oh, I'm going to hate this so much. I'm like, you don't have to do that. You can just simply say, I'm not going to do that. And you don't owe anyone anything because you played a dumb little game. But like one time, apparently this dude here like hates the word frick, which I'm all over that and immediately going, why the frick do you hate the word frick? I'm just like fricking it up over there.
I told you this. I think I told you this already, but when I was in Norway for a little bit, I taught two German girls the word frick because they were like, "What's frick?" And I was like, "Frick." It's like like there's cuss words and then there's alternative cuss words, and frick is my favorite. I also asked them.
Yeah.
I was like walking to lunch and I saw them and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And they were like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And they were like, we don't have a response to that. Like, we don't understand how to respond to that. I was like, so like you could be like nothing or you could tell me what you're doing. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
dude, I know. One time I said what's good to somebody. And they're like, I don't know what to say to that. And I'm like, literally anything.
Anything except
literally that. Just, yeah. I'm like, you could say
fish.
Virtually anything to me right now.
What's
and
good?
That would be good. And fish, I go, dude. Okay. And I go, dude, you're not wrong. It's exactly what I say. Yeah. You're not wrong. Anyway, so yeah, this dude I find out this dude hates the word frick. Okay. And so I go, oh, frick? You hate that word? Immediately. And so
what the frick? Why?
These yeah, dude, what the frick? Why do you freaking hate that frickin' word, dude? And so he apparently has this thing where like if you say frick around him, like, and his like friends and colleagues knew this, which are his friends and colleagues are dudes that are my age or a little bit younger maybe. And so apparently there's this thing where it's like they said it all happened because one of them said frick and the dude was sitting right there and he was like, oh, and they're like, oh, dang it. And I was like, what's going on here? I'm like, what? Like, there's a ton of people around us. And I'm like, what's happening here? Why are you doing that? Because apparently if they use the word frick around him, they have to do like 10 push-ups. And so they were like,
breaking an addiction.
Oh, well, it's like, they're like, oh man, like now I have to do 10 push-ups. And they're like complaining. And I'm like, you actually don't have to do anything. I was like, look, watch this. Frick, I'm not going to do push-ups. and I'm just like, you guys, like, I get like stupid passionate about it because I just think it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, don't complain about it because you don't have to actually do it. Like, there's no one's forcing you to do that. So like, don't complain about having to do it because you don't have to. Yeah. You're just choosing to do it. And it's like the same with people. A lot of people here play What Are the Odds still.
What is that?
And they're like, what are the odds you do what?
Yeah.
So like, what are the odds you shave your head? And I'm like,
what are the odds I kill you?
Yeah, I'm like, people literally try to play it with me, and then I see it on their face where they say that out the gate, and then they remember, oh, I'm talking to Gage. He does not play that game.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, like they kind of like back off a little bit. But like, again, it's like, I'm not actually mad. I just think it's so funny because I'm like, I'm not going to do anything you say. So I just say the odds are 0 out of 0. And then sometimes they go, oh, so I win. And I go, no, I'm just not going to do it.
I never understand, like I get why they do it. Because they're like, oh, man, like, you hold me accountable, dude. If you hear me say it, you make me do some push-ups. But, like, that's not going to make you stop saying it.
But
like,
that's the thing. It wasn't for them. It was for him.
Oh, okay. I'd take it a step
He's like, if you say frick around me.
If I were him,
do what?
I take it a step up if I'm him. If I'm doing it for him, take it a step up, dude. If I hear you say frick, I have to cut off one of your fingers. See if you say anything like that again.
If you say frick around me, I get to chop off a finger. All right, bet, man. I'm not going to say that ever again.
You're hanging out with your friends, having a good time. I walk by. I hear you say frick. I'm branding the back of your calf.
You let it slip, you're done, man.
At first I thought you were gonna say it's like you said it and he just flipped out. I thought maybe it was like an Avengers with Bucky. It's just like a trigger word, and then he just becomes the Winter Soldier and he just starts killing people.
No, yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm like, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And then they started calling me Pizza Boy or something because I eat a lot of pizza.
That's not.
I was like,
is that supposed to be an insult?
I know that was me. I'm like, yeah.
I feel
what do you hate Italians or something? I'm not Italian, but like they made pizza. Do you just hate pizza?
I just would like.
Sorry that you don't like what I love. You know, I'm just like, what do you expect me to say?
You just like walk past them, they're drinking water, and you're like, hey, water boy, you like water? Hey, everyone, this guy likes water.
This guy likes water. This guy right here, he drinks water. What a freaking loser, dude.
Like, an hour goes by, they're like eating like a bologna sandwich. You're like, bologna, huh? Hey guys, this freaking bologna boy over here likes bologna. How crazy
I'm like staying there. I'm like, oh, dude, did you just take a breath of air? You guys, you won't believe this. This guy breathes oxygen. You believe that?
What's up,
what a
oxygen
freaking moron. Oh, oxygen boy. Oh, man, I need oxygen to live. The freaking loser.
Did you you said pizza, and it made me think of this because I saw an insane, I don't know what's going on with Papa John's.
Yeah, he's been off the rails for a while.
800 pizzas in 18 months? He said that.
Has it been going up?
Yeah, because at first it was over, 40 pizzas in over 40 days or something like, I don't know. But yeah. Now he's eaten 800 pizzas. I already forgot what I said because, I mean, if you forget it and you say it, it's a mind ridiculous. Wiper. 800 pizzas in 18 months.
That is...
You should be, first of all, no freaking way you're pooping because you have to be constipated all the time. Because that's a whole bunch of cheese. Second, like, you should be dead because that's too many, like, what are you gonna...
He's like over 50.
Yeah. And he's not even like... I mean, you can eat pizza, you can eat crap and, like, work out, like, super hard and, like, not be fat, but, like, he's... Mm-hmm. I'm going to go on a limb and say he doesn't. And if I'm wrong, my bad. But I'm saying he should have had a heart attack by now. And how are you not sick of it?
He eats pizza, and while he's eating pizza, he watches all of the Papa John's advertisements that he's not in anymore. And it just fuels him to eat more pizza.
This is another thing I don't get. Like, because he's not... Papa John's isn't Papa John's anymore. He's ex.
Yeah, he's just John.
He's ex Papa John, because the pizza divorced him. So
honestly,
go to Domino's. They don't have a face. Go be the new face of Domino's. Get you a new pizza
that would be
wife.
So freaking funny. I don't think he would do it because he's Papa John. Yeah. But it's like, imagine how choice of a commercial that would be if he's like, yeah, you might recognize me from, but I've tried some other pizza and I think it's better. So now I'm changing my name to Papa Domino. It's just like the dumbest commercial ever. And it's like, that's funny because he's like, oh yeah, I swapped pizzas. It's like, that would be freaking hilarious to me. I would love that. That's great marketing and nobody thinks of it.
Welcome to Jomino's. Papa Jomino's.
Papa Jomino's. Papa Jomino's. That is freaking amazing. Dude, have I told you about the Pizzalympics in my house?
No, but I love the sound of that, and I want to. What does that happen every 4 years, just like the regular Olympics? So I could.
It happens every
train
single day.
Okay.
There's no training. You just get in where you're at. Ground level stuff, man. I swear I should have. I have mentioned this to you before. So my house, we started what's called the Pizzalympics in April. March of this year. We took a piece of paper. We recognized that I eat a lot of pizza because I do.
You do.
And so we decided, let's do what's called the Pizzalympics. And so basically what we started doing is initially we started out with the entire house was included, like the guy's house that I live in. I live in a house with 8 guys. And so we just put a piece of paper up on the cork board by the entrance and we wrote, Zion Pizza on it. And we started tallying a tally mark for every pizza that we would eat. Okay. Anyone in the house altogether. Once we hit 50 pizzas by the next month total, everyone in the house, then we sectioned it off and started going by name. And so then we made it a competition of individuals in the house eating the most pizza. You already know your boy is on top number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And I stay number 1, bro.
I have a question.
I went on a week trip. Sorry, go ahead.
So if someone gets pizza rolls, do they go
Great question.
Do you go by the bag or by the roll?
We go by the roll. 40 rolls is 1 pizza.
Okay, respect.
Yeah, and I eat about 30 per serving.
As a warm-up.
So yeah, so I eat about 30, so I basically eat like 2 servings and then I mark 1 pizza.
Yeah.
There's like literal rules to this. You can only count pizzas you've eaten in Zion. You have to ingest at least half the pizza before you can mark it off. And it's pretty awesome. I think I'm at 67 pizzas this week since March.
Sorry.
So that's March. Oh wait, no, sorry. Since April. Why do I keep thinking April is before March? March, April. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So that's 67 pizzas in 8 months.
Dude, are you Papa John's?
I could be the next Papa John's. I mean, that's not nearly as much as he's done. He's ingested far more than me. But, props to the guy. His body has got to be at the lowest possible operations,
I think he's lying.
Percentage.
I think he's mentally ill. No freaking way he's eating that.
He has to be lying. No freaking way. He would be so long gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why they were calling me Pizza Boy, because they had heard about the Pizzalympics and that I was smashing my house. The only guy who's behind me in like any sort of competition would be my house leader, Matt. Love the dude. But here's the thing, and you're going to agree with me on this.
Okay.
So I eat like full-size bruschetta pizzas, okay? Like a big full-size pizza, like the frozen pizza you would think of, like a normal, like pretty full-size, okay? And Matt eats these Totina party pizzas. They're really small. And he ingests those and counts it as a pizza. And I count mine as a pizza, but it's like mine is significantly larger than his. So basically, that's what makes me the king of pizza.
That is a super interesting and awesome story that I'm glad we got the full version of. So your mom's in town. You've been seeing your mom?
Yeah, I've been seeing my mom a little bit.
What is Christina up to these days?
Dude, Christina be wildin', she always is. She's I actually dropped her off tonight. We hung out all day, and I took her back to the room. I was like, later I'm gonna go do this, or I'm just gonna go record this other episode. And she was like, okay. And I was like, maybe I'll send you a funny video. And she was like, oh, I still got to watch your last episode because it just aired today. And I keep forgetting that it airs on the day that we record.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it like that last time. We would record and then upload it the day after.
Right.
But yeah, it was funny because I was going to send her this. Do you know, I feel like I've talked to you about Chet Hanks, right? Chet Hanks, White Boy Summer.
Yeah, I love watching him do his life.
I love watching him live because I'm like, this dude can't be real.
The best laugh I've ever heard.
The fact that he's Tom Hanks' son is what makes him so interesting. If he was just a regular guy, like, I think he's funny, but the fact that he's Tom Hanks' son and he's so just drastically different person from his father, I find it so humorous and like so different than Tom Hanks.
What has he done lately? The last thing I ever saw was him like trying to score a date with Lizzo, and that was probably the last thing I saw.
Dude, he's so freaking.
And you know what? Like, I hope he got the date.
He's a specimen, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, there's like weird buzz on like TikTok that Lizzo and Chris Evans got together or something.
Isn't he married with children?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't think he's married at all.
I don't know. TikTok, yeah. I have never been on it. I mean, the only time
I ever about Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth?
Chris Hemsworth is married with kids.
They live in Asgard?
No, Australia.
Oh, is that close?
Yeah, I think Asgard is like another British colony.
Just somewhere originally. Up north.
Yeah.
Huh. No, I haven't really seen anything like that. Are you still on the talk?
Every now and then I jump on because I ran it for Salem for a minute. Mm-hmm. And by a minute, I mean months. And had some fun, but then I got too busy and I'm not even in the marketing department really. So new guy came in and took it over from me. His name is Sam. He's great. But yeah, I mean, so I passed it off. But
do you have are you still on there as Gage Key, the person, not as the super busy?
Every now and then, yeah. Because we have phones and comms, so I had it on my phone that I use to call people because I would typically take an hour every day and try to make a TikTok. So I just had it on the phone in there. And so I'll jump on there during like break or something. But then a lot of my friends send me TikToks. So I click on them and watch them on my browser like an old man.
You used to send me a bunch. You used to send me a bunch.
Yeah.
You used to show me a bunch when we lived together and try to get me to laugh. And a lot of times I just wouldn't.
Yeah, you refused. But
every now and then, though, you'd hit me with a good one that would.
Yeah, I try to be really specific with the ones that I send you nowadays, just because. Yeah, I know that you're resistant to the talk, which I respect hardcore because it's a cesspool. It really is, but you find some true gold.
It's not that I'm resistant. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty resistant. I just don't understand. I don't understand a lot of it because if something's funny, I'll laugh even if I'm like trying to be resistant.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff I'm like, you filmed this, you thought about it, you filmed it, you watched it back after maybe editing it, I don't know, and then you go like, this is good. I want people to see this. And then you put it out and it's garbage. Yeah. Dude, Brandon sends me a TikTok at like all the time, and I've never watched any of them. He just
incredible.
Sent it, and he'll be like, "Did you see it?" And I'm like, "See what?" And he's like, "I sent you a TikTok." I'm like, "I saw that you sent me one." But no.
Did I see that you sent me one? Yeah.
Am I gonna watch it? No, I won't.
It's like one of the most ultimate disrespects to someone who loves TikTok to not watch the TikTok you send them.
I still have a few in my phone, the choice ones that.
Oh, dude, yeah, there were some ancient ones that I showed you that were so funny that we would quote for a minute, but they were so specific.
The guy singing
Yeah.
Butthole. That one was a
Yeah,
good one.
dude. We were singing that like every
For
day,
weeks, dude.
Weeks.
I wish we could put that up on here, but
Oh,
I don't
dude,
know.
the doocy poop one.
Oh
I just
yeah,
took a
still
doocy
got that
poop.
one. That one, dude, was oh my goodness. I still say doozy poop pretty
Oh my
much all the
gosh,
time.
so funny, dude.
And
Dude,
then
what was I watching? I was watching I was watching a Noel Miller video, and he was talking about how farts will never not be funny, and like
it's true.
his editors put a bunch of fart noises in while he was talking about it. It was so freaking funny. Oh, I was freaking dying, dude. It was so freaking funny.
Dude, our editor is funny like that too, you know?
Yeah, is he?
No, he's actually a square.
Yeah.
How's the new setup working for you in there?
It definitely sounds better, I think.
So you're in
when
a
I listened
closet,
back
right?
to it. No, I'm in the marketing office.
Oh.
I'm just in the back. Like the communications office is like this basically really long rectangle, and the mobilizer communication side is big chunk, and then there's a little wall and a door in the back, and then a smaller chunk is the marketing office. And so I just moved into the smaller space because the sound has less ability to bounce off the walls as much, because it just sounded really echoey in the other room. So
since this episode is getting put out a week after the event of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you guys do? Do you get in a circle and then you just like burn a bunch of stuff and then just
He's talking about as a YWAMer for context.
Yeah, as a YWAMer, do you guys, instead of like feasting, you guys fast? And so
Dude,
you don't
that's
eat.
funny.
You don't eat. You just don't eat all of Thanksgiving.
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah, definitely we do that. Absolutely.
Nice.
We were like, how can I like literally like really dedicate this to the Lord? And it's not to eat any food on Thanksgiving, the day where people eat the most food ever in America. We think, how can we go against the grain of like, how can we be counterculture in this place? Like, how do we really stir up, like, what would Jesus do? And people would say he would fast, but he literally would eat Thanksgiving dinner. Now, would he eat as much as we eat? Probably not.
No, definitely not.
There's a little bit of gluttony going on there.
Yeah.
But it's for a good cause, you know? It's sinning for a good cause. So, you know, whatever, you know?
Sure. What do you do? Like,
most people just they either go home, and then those who live here or like don't go anywhere, they usually like host a Friendsgiving. So I got invited to a Thanksgiving at someone else's house, and me and my mom are gonna go.
Heck yeah! What is your what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish, and what's your least favorite?
Favorite is probably the green bean casserole. Cassie. I was gonna say Cassie. I was gonna say Cassie, short for casserole, but then I gave up, and then I didn't say the rest of roll. I just said casserole. Green bean casserole. And least favorite, probably anything sweet potato. People always do the sweet potato casserole. I can't stand it. I can't stand sweet potatoes, period. So
I understand that. Now, dessert. Favorite
pie, dude.
Favorite, and then your least favorite.
Oh, okay. Pie is my favorite. Probably my grandma's chocolate pie. It's like it's one of those like all-time legends where you ate it as a kid all the time, and you would always ask your, blank to make that when you came and visited. So chocolate pie, grandma's chocolate pie, absolute flames. Least favorite, probably anything like lemony. I'm not a huge fan of like lemon desserts. I have lemon bars sometimes, and they're like okay, but I'm just like, it's just like a weird experience, you know? I'm like, is this good, or is this just like strange and I don't really understand it, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel that.
It's not like bad though, but I guess there's probably something else that's like my least favorite, but I can't think of it. Probably like pecan pie. I'm not a huge fan of like nuts on my pie, you know?
I feel that. I'm
I don't
kind
like
of the same
pie,
way.
dude. Yeah. I'm
also
like a pure pie.
I'm more of a pie guy than a cake pie. Like,
Dude, 10 out of 10, bro.
Like, I honestly, like, comparing the two, I would say I hate cake. I don't hate cake. I like cake, but I love pie.
Dude, pie goes so freaking hard.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
I would say no to cake, but I don't know if I would say no to pie.
Yeah. Yeah, cake is like a high five, and then pie is more of a hug.
Dude, I agree with that. Pie is like more wholesome. Cake is like, I'm just like, what am I even eating? You know, like what like why am I choosing to ingest this fluffy, airy? It's like it's like a chip bag and you're just eating the air part of it, you know?
Yeah. It's
Like
like
that's it.
it's like a step sibling that you didn't grow up with.
Dude, that's true. Dude, the other night I had a piece of cake. Okay, I found it humorous. I think you'll find it the same type of humorous that I did. So
Yeah.
I'm at my friend's house. We're watching some TV. I'm with two of my friends, and she's like, "Oh, like I made some cake earlier. Like, if you guys want some cake, we had pizza." She was like, "If you want some cake, like you can have some cake." She brought out like this big dish that they baked the cake in. It had like a lid on top of it. So I wait for a little bit, and I go, "I could have some chocolate cake because it's chocolate cake." You know, I'm like, I'll try a little bit and like maybe satisfy the sweet craving I've got going on right now. So I was just gonna get a little piece of cake. I take off the lid, and to my astonishment, I was taken aback by the sight that I saw. It was a half-eaten cake, but not like you would expect. They just cooked the cake in the dish and then started eating it out of the dish with a fork. So it was it was uneven and it was eaten to heck on one side. And I don't like icing.
That?
No, okay, they didn't even partake. Okay, and so like I just opened it, I was like, what the flip, dude? And there's no icing on it, it's just dry cake. And I don't like icing, but like I was still kind of put off by that.
Right.
Because that's just dry sponge cake. Literally, that's all it was. Dry chocolate sponge cake. And so I go, she's just like, "Oh yeah, just use your fork." And I go, because she just literally brought the dish and 3 forks. And I said, "I'm gonna go get a knife and a plate." And so I did that. I got a knife. I cut a rectangle out in the midst of this just gnawed off limb is what it looked like. And I cut out a rectangle and I put it on my plate. I take a bite of that bad boy. First thing that happens, flies right down my windpipe.
Nice. And then
because it's that dry. Yeah, it's that dry. There's that much air. Like it's that area of a cake that my throat said, "Oh, this is designated to windpipe. There's air." And so it said, "Open the windpipe," and opened it and just sucked it right into my lungs because it was like, we're scanning this. It looks like air to me. There's too much air in it and not enough substance. So it just flew right down my windpipe, which, you know, that's kind of why I don't like cake because sometimes my body just can't distinguish that there's something there. Yeah. And I'm like, and then it's also dry as flip, dude. It was really weird because I felt it. Like for the first time in my life, I felt my windpipe open. Like I know what it looks like, kind of. I've seen it. It like literally is like a muscle or a flap or something that opens up in your throat. Yeah. And like blocks off the stomach one, and you breathe through it. It's like I felt it open and like close with the cake in it, and then I immediately coughed it back out, and it like opened again and flew out, and I could feel it like rub against like the top of the whatever it is, muscle tissue that flaps there. I could feel it like scrape against that as it flew back out because I sucked it in and then immediately like breathed out and it came back out. It's like, what the frick, dude? And I was like coughing and I was like, it's really dry. Yeah. And I had to get some freaking water, and I put water in a wine glass, one of those wine glasses that say like, bad day, really bad day, don't ask.
Yeah, wine o'clock somewhere.
Okay, now I can't remember. Yeah, one of those. So
nice.
It was pretty horrific experience.
Yeah, that sounds. I don't know, man. That sounds. If I saw that cake, I probably would have just left.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about like not being friends with them anymore.
I would,
And
honestly.
you know what? They don't listen to this podcast, and I know it. So
Well,
it doesn't even matter.
I'd send this episode to them, and I'd
I'm
say
probably
wait till
going
the end.
to, and I'm going to say,
I'd say wait till
"Oh,
the end.
you'll have to. You're in here somewhere." I won't tell her where, so she has to listen to the whole thing. And I'll say, "Yeah, I can't remember where you were, but like we talked about you, and it was like all really good stuff." And then she'll have to wait all the way to the end, and then she'll go, "Wow, I just got put on blast."
So you're telling me that, I want to get this right.
Yeah, dude.
So
Get it straight. I'll help.
They cook the cake in this pan, and then they've just been eating the cake out of that pan with a fork instead of cutting a slice. Instead of cutting a slice and putting it on a plate.
Yep. And it's one thing if you do that just with yourself or whatever.
That was my
next
question.
But to offer it to others.
They're sharing it with others.
To offer it to others in that state, that's just it's wrong.
That's like chewing it yourself and just spitting in their mouth.
Honestly, it probably would have been better that way because it was so dry. You get a little bit of saliva in there. Probably would have been choice cake, dude, honestly. If a bird was eating that cake, if a baby bird was eating that cake, then it probably would have been a good cake. But I'm not a baby bird. I am a human male.
Well, the baby bird made its windpipe or whatever the heck a bird has probably would have just choked on it and died too. Because it sounds like you were eating just sand.
That's a very apt description. It's like I was eating super thin, like really thin, wet wood chips.
So, and there was no icing on it?
Nope. It was a dry sponge cake.
So they made the cake, and then this person's like, all right, I'm going to peel all of this off. And now the sponge part, which is the worst part of the cake. And icing, in my opinion, isn't good. Like, I'm with you on that.
I hate icing.
Really is.
I hate icing.
It's pretty overrated, but
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Icing mixed with the sponginess of it, which majority of the time is dry. It's like two weak people trying to lift something. Like they'll get farther together, but it's still not really. It's not.
Well, it's like the icing is what it's like. It sticks to the icing so that you don't have those moments when it flies down your windpipe because it's holding it back. It's sort of grounding it in your mouth so that it doesn't fly off like that. Like it's giving it some sort of weight so that it's not literal air in your mouth. Well, I put it in my mouth and I lose it. I don't know where the piece of cake is in my mouth anymore. I don't even know if I swallowed it. I'm like, oh, is that cake? It just is, and it's not the melt in your mouth goodness. It's just this is so airy. I don't even know where it just went.
Well, I hope that whoever your friend is, and if she's watching,
I hope they're punished.
I hope they just never bake again.
They need to go to a correctional facility.
For her sake and people around her, and mainly just people around her, stop offering food to people. Like, if you're cutting it and putting it on separate things, if you've been taking a bite of something and then touching the rest of it with a fork, just throw it away or just finish it yourself. Don't do that. That's how you get.
Here's the equivalent. I just thought of the greatest thing. Okay, every now and then somebody might make a pot of macaroni and cheese and eat it out of the pot that they make it in.
Sure.
I don't do that anymore. I did that when I was younger. But the equivalent of the cake thing, and people would say this is gross, but it's the same thing. You cook it in the pot, and then you eat like 3/4 of that macaroni and cheese out of the pot with a fork, and then you offer to share it with somebody else. That's gross.
I would say is in that meal.
I'd say you ate out of that. Because that was always my thing when I'm a kid. I'm like, okay, nobody else can eat this because I'm eating out of the pot. And that's probably the reason I did it that way. Is because, I don't have to share with anybody because I just eat it straight out. Like, I've done that. You double dip in a sauce, it's now your sauce.
It's double dipping, yeah.
It's now your sauce because people are like, you double dip? And I'm like, I don't usually double dip. But, like, when people did, I'm like, oh, I can't eat that now because you double dip, so I don't want to. So it's like, it's genius if you work it the right way. You can get what you want, but in that situation, it was not. It just yeah, it was just mortifying, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I hope that you and your therapist get through that together. I don't know. That seems like a really long healing process.
Yeah, I haven't even I've been too scared to talk about it honestly with her yet, It's just
Really,
I'll just feel like it's gonna dig up a lot of stuff.
a lot of trauma and
A
stuff.
lot of really bad stuff back there.
You think it dates back to your childhood?
I mean, I didn't like cake when I was a kid either.
Yeah, that
It's
probably
like
spawns from something.
without the icing, I don't get to do the thing where I flip it over blatantly in front of people and just cave out the sponge.
Yeah,
You know?
I think like okay, soda pop cake is probably my favorite cake because
Mm-hmm.
it's like icing is just whipped cream, and then the cake itself is there's like no possible chance of the cake being dry because you just soak it in soda.
Yeah. Wait, you know what I'm thinking of right now?
Cake,
Yeah, but
soda
brownies.
pop cake. Oh yeah,
Brownies.
I love
Cake.
brownies.
What's the difference? Brownies are I would take brownies over cake. I
Some
might
people
even
do.
take brownies over pie, honestly.
Mm,
I love a brownie just because it's
depends on.
classic.
Yeah,
It's like classic. You can't go wrong unless you throw nuts in that bad
nuts in
boy.
it, dude. Nuts and
That's how you
brownies,
can
get
go
them
wrong.
out of here.
Get them out, dude. It ruins. Brownies are supposed to be mushy, gushy, whooshy. If you put
If you
some
want,
freaking nuts in there, bro, it's mushy, crunchy, gushy, crunchy, wunchy, dunchy, and I don't want that.
yeah, if you want chocolate and nuts, go get a bag of M&Ms.
Yeah, peanut M&Ms to be exact.
Which
If you want
honestly, I
chocolate
hate
with
those.
nuts, if you want chocolate with nuts, go get a stupid nut chocolate bar, but don't put it in my flaming brownies.
Yeah, I don't know how people do that. I
It's
just don't
wrong.
like it.
It
Also,
ruins it's not a complimentary texture to brownies at all in my opinion. Because here's what it is. People would argue, "Oh, well, it's just for the crunch." When you cook them in brownies, they lose their crunch. They just become kind of wet nuts, dude. And that sounds gross when you say those words out loud together. So I'm sure it tastes bad.
yeah,
I know it tastes bad. I have
mhm.
firsthand experience. It's
Yeah,
wrong.
I I don't get some ideas. Some people like it, and if you like that, that's fine. It's just you're
No, it's
gross.
not.
It's not.
I'll say it. It's not okay. Lots of things are okay. That's not.
That's not one of them.
That's
Yeah,
not one of them.
I've also noticed that I'm not a person because a lot of times you'll hear people say like, "Oh, it's too sweet." I'm not one of those guys. I don't really have a sweetness threshold. I feel
Hmm.
like if something is super sweet, it's just sweet to me, and it's fine, and I'll eat it. There was one time though, I had chocolate that was almost like 100% cacao, and
Oh gosh.
I I had just a bite of it, and I was like, "No, thanks." No, thank you. Be more sugary. I did not like
Yeah.
that.
Dude, I think 75. Well, I think I could do 75. I think that's like the most cacao I could do in it because I like dark chocolate. Um, but yeah, I think 75 is like the highest amount I can go before I start going, that's not chocolate.
Hmm.
That's not.
Oh, I just thought of the my most unfavorite thing about Thanksgiving is
Yeah?
after you eat, because then
Oh
everyone,
yeah.
dude, everyone's just lying around like they just made a poor life decision, and they're moaning and groaning like they've never eaten before, and, and I hate that part because just be full. You don't have to make noises. Just be full and like laid. I get some noises, but it's like I don't know if it's an age thing. I think if you get
Yeah. Well, it's
older,
like, do you have the intent of sharing that with the room or is it just a natural noise? Like, are you
right?
doing it on purpose to try to be funny or relate, oh, you just ate a lot too. Like, we're both so full. Like, that is such a weird thing to relate to people with. Like, oh, dude, you're full too. I just ate also, and I'm full too. And it's
I'm
like,
gonna
I'm sorry. Are you three?
Yeah.
We all just ate at the same table. We all know that we ate.
Because if all those noises are real, you need to go to a doctor.
You need to go to is there people who like just teach how to be regular in society? Because you need to go to one of those.
No. They're just like, they're laying
how to be normal.
It's like, oh, and you're like, what, Dad? What are you full? He's like, I'm so full. And you're like, okay, everyone ate. He's like, oh, it hurts. And you're like, yes, it's fine.
Your dad does do that. I've heard your dad do that. Not on just Thanksgiving.
But he goes, oh, and then he goes, oh, and then his stomach explodes, and everyone's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's like, I told you it hurt.
Blood just sprayed all over people. And they're like, oh my gosh.
But happy Thanksgiving to everyone who is listening and or watching.
Happy late Thanksgiving, y'all.
Because we're late to that, but buddy, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving at these strangers' houses, and I hope you guys don't sacrifice too many animals, because that's
we'll try, man.
The way, but I hope you stay away from cake though, and that baker.
Yeah, cancel cake, and we're already like, once this goes up, it'll probably be like less than 24 hours before she's in jail, because that's how the internet works. Let's go internet, you know? It's the world today, man.
Yeah. All right, see you guys.
Later.
Technical difficulties. Yes, dude. Oh, freak yeah. Yes. My favorite. Frick yes, dude. Awesome. Yeah, baby. Mid-story. Oh my freaking goodness. Riverside. Fix your crap. Gosh dang it. Oh, that's such cheeks. That's Dookie. That's Dookie, yeah. I hate that. I hate that so much.